Hey everyone, and welcome back to the sports section. So, it's been a while, but I do want to address the issue here, the big elephant in the room, and that's the constant blame of Pochettino this, Pochettino that. Because right now, if you go on X, all you see is toxicity around the club. Pochettino out, Pochettino out, Pochettino out. Whether you're following people like Dubois, CFC Daily, Pies or Peace or whatever he's called, all these big accounts somehow think that they know better than everyone else. Somehow they think that they are the Uber fans out there and all the rest are complete garbage. These fans, to be honest, are not fans of Chelsea Football Club. These fans are fans of specific players that play for Chelsea Football Club. I've never seen them actually constantly supporting the football club, which means the club as a whole, the manager, the team, the players. No, it's always about a specific player, it's always about Pochettino. And this is the problem recently, not just with Chelsea FC. This is a problem with all the younger fans. More recently, they love a player more than they love the club. It shouldn't be this way. No single player should be put on a higher pedestal than the club itself. If, for example, we take Manchester United, the whole Jadon Sancho scenario, they have been pretty clear. Nobody is above Manchester United. We've had that little saga at Chelsea as well with Noni Madueke. There was something behind closed door that happened and he was put into place. Nobody should be bigger than Chelsea FC. It's that simple. Now, if you go on X, you've probably seen all the Pochettino out, Poch out already for quite a while, right? And this comes from fans, I say, Pies, Dubois or Peace, whatever his account name is called, Dubois, CFC Daily, the constant going after Pochettino as if he's the one missing all those chances during the games, right? As if he's the one on the pitch missing the 1v1s or not so long ago, the 3v1s, right? I mean, I'll also add Alex Goldberg. He's the cheerleader type of fan. If you put a rumor out that Chelsea is looking at a 17-year-old winger that nobody has heard of, but there is a 5-minute compilation of him dribbling and actually doing nothing but dribbles and looking fancy schmancy, he will start full-on advertising for us to sign such a player, even though he has no experience, even though we know he will not add a lot of value to this squad whatsoever. But hey, let's go back to the topic. I digress here. Now, putting the constant blame on Pochettino is completely ridiculous. First of all, it's been 6 months. 6 months since he came in. 6 months, and what has happened? Well, first of all, during the transfer window, again, we took our time as a club to get the players that we needed. We took our time, and then when we got the players that we needed, because let's face it, panic buys is a thing at Chelsea FC, somehow we got hit with bad luck. Injuries. So again, how can you expect that someone like Pochettino, who came into the job with arguably one of the most inexperienced teams that we've had in recent years, if not ever, plus add that with the constant injury hits, right? The constant injury hits. One player becomes healthy, what do you know, 2 others become injured. One of the injured players come back, what do you know, he's injured again. How can you expect a coach to be able to perform well like this? I said this on X. A coach will only be as good as the players make him to be. We've seen this with Pep, we've seen it with Jose, Arsene Wenger when he was invincible, even though there were 12 draws there, but okay. It's pretty simple. A coach is there to coach the player, to put on the best team to do the best job on the pitch. It becomes increasingly difficult when the cards he has to play don't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that Thiago Silva, right, close to 40 years of age, can be the father of 90+% of the players in that squad. It just doesn't make any sense. It also doesn't make any sense to blame Maurizio Pochettino for all the issues at this club. Did you know that Chelsea FC this season create the most chances out of any team in the Premier League? So you cannot say that Maurizio Pochettino is doing a bad job. No, it's just so that the finishing is completely horrible. And he's not the one he can't finish. Now you're going to say, yeah, but he's the one putting the players out there. Well, what other players do you want him to put there? Nkunku has been injured until now. Broja has been injured until now. So what? What choice do we have? We have to put Nicolas Jackson in there. Also, Nicolas Jackson, I mean, who's the idiot, right? Who's the idiot scout or sporting director that thought that Nicolas Jackson was the guy that would lead us to great success? Seriously. What kind of a joke are we? Now, of course, we're getting linked here and there with the Ivan Tonys and the Osimhens of the lot. But, I mean, do we have the money? We've already spent 1 billion on, again, inexperienced kids. Why? How? How did we come from being champions of Europe, champions of the world with a world-class coach to now having arguably the youngest squad out there, the most inexperienced squad out there, probably the most injured squad out there as well, with nothing to our name, only being the one that has spent the most money on players that literally don't deliver anything. Let's be honest here, right? We went from Kovacic, Jorginho to Caicedo, Enzo. Did you see any change in that midfield besides it being valued now at 200 million? Did you see any change? Are they providing us with more goals and more assists? Yes? No? Probably not, right? Probably not. So, again, enough with the blame on Pochettino. Because, let's face it, if you want to build a team, it takes time. If we're talking here about a project, right? Imagine what signal this sends to the next coach. Yeah, we said we're working on a project for many, many years. We're building a young squad, 8-year contracts, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. And then 6 months later, we sack the coach because we're not happy with the results. Well, what did you think? Do you think that a world-class coach would like to come and take the job? Probably not, unless the contract is very, very lucrative, and if he gets fired, he's going to get paid even more, which is probably the things that have been happening at Chelsea for quite a while now. So, yeah. Do you think that Pep Guardiola would do a better job than Pochettino right now? City sit at 4th place, right, this season, with arguably one of the best teams in the world. When Pep came to England, remember his first years at City? And the team was much better than ours right now, had more experience. Yet he didn't perform quite well. He didn't perform well at all. And then what happened? Well, Leicester were champions. Leicester was champion when Pep Guardiola was managing a Manchester City team. It took him a while. It took Klopp a while to perfect their teams. But what's more important here is that the recruiting was done very, very well. You can mix inexperience with experience. That works out pretty well. Look at the evolution of Phil Foden. Young player. But a young player that plays with experienced players, you can risk that. You cannot risk putting a 40-year-old, 39-year-old Thiago Silva with 10 other players that spent more years in diapers than in a professional, high-level, world-class football league. It just doesn't make any freaking sense. So again, the message here to the so-called big fans on social media, Pice, CFC Daily, Dubois, Alex Goldberg, go f*** yourself. Seriously, go f*** yourself. I mean, who the F do you think you are? Always blaming the manager, and then you're like, oh, this manager will do better, right? This manager will do better. Are they? How many more managers do we need to sack? Tuchel, Potter, Lampard, you want Pochettino out as well. What's the next one, right? I've seen some people already, oh, Xabi Alonso looks like a good one. Why? Because he was a great midfielder, is doing a great job with Leverkusen right now, but has still not won anything significant? Is that why you want him? Well, 6 months later, you'll probably want him out as well because it doesn't work out with the current team we have. Nagelsmann, is that someone you want? He probably said no because he's not a yes man and Burley wants a yes man, a puppet he can control. That's probably one of the reasons why he sacked Tuchel anyways. So where are we going with this? Huh? Continue to blame the manager? Or are we starting to shift a bit and blame the incompetence of the owners, the incompetence of the sporting directors, the incompetence of the very well played, actually overpaid players that we have? Maybe we should start focusing on that. Stop blaming the manager. Of course, if you don't really watch the games, if you spend 99% of the time on social media commenting on stuff while the game is on, then of course it's easier to blame the manager because that's just one person. So you blame him, he goes out, the same shit happens again and again and again. So here I say it again, stop blaming Pochettino for all the issues at Chelsea Football Club.